At the heart of French Lit is the idea that the teachers and also the students, the adult students, can question productively every aspect of the teaching and learning process so that it leads to greater success in learning the French language. So an example of this would be, the reason for this, I'd say first, is because in doing elementary education and looking at elementary education, we saw that first, when young learners are first acquiring language, it's a powerful phenomenon. It's a powerful thing. There's so many aspects to learning the language. That's their first language. And I found that with adults, there might be pieces that, as a teacher of adults, that I could incorporate by also allowing the adult learner in a second language or third language to also explore in the same way that we allow young learners to explore literacy and explore language. So that would mean, for example, being conscious of space and place and time, making sure that the classroom for the adult learner, language learner, is also inviting, is a place they want to come back to, a place where they're going to share their identity, just like a young learner would come into class and tell what happened at home. Many times we ask them, what's your favorite vacation, or what did you do with your brothers and sisters? We also want the adult learner too in language to also be able to bring themselves and bring their identity into the language learning classroom. So that's one really important thing. The other aspect that I found is we have to be able to make the most of traditional models, but also question traditional models. So for the adult learner, is success in language mean that they've been able to write and pass the test? Does it mean that we've gotten through every chapter in the book? Maybe, and maybe not necessarily. I have to ask an adult learner, what do you want? At French Lit, we want to be careful to be able to listen to and accept that maybe a learner might come and say, I'm here at French Lit because I really just want to become better at speaking, and I'm not really here to perfect necessarily my reading and writing in French. I might feel disappointed as an instructor here at French Lit, but I can be okay with that and then be that much more creative of how am I going to shape a curriculum that would allow this person to improve or learn how to speak French without necessarily pulling them down too much by the written form of the language. So at French Lit, we want to be able to do all of the above. We want to be able to address as much as possible the particular needs and desire of the learner, because the more that they want to do something and the more active that they are and engaged in the learning process of the second language, it's interesting, the less I throw at them, the more they give me. And so that's really what we want to be able to do in second language learning with adult learners, which is not something that I think is necessarily done on a regular basis, especially for adult learners. At the same time, we want to be able to bring French to Windsor, which is where we are. We're in a mostly English milieu, but we want to be able to recreate the experience by being mindful of our setting, even just trying to recreate kind of that French cafe feel. We have the French film nights because we want to make sure that we're using the arts. So, what is film? Film is it's motion, it's movement, it's expression, it's the language given in images. And so we want to make sure that our learners can also experience that as well. At the meetups, we focus on building community, because part of learning is having a community of learners. The meetups, anyone can come and speak and practice their French conversation. It's part of the curriculum, even though it's not during classroom time. We don't have pen and paper. People don't even have their cell phones out. People are really there to build community and stumble in the French language and enjoy the mistake making to become better. So we try to put all of this together at French Lit to be French Lit, to be what we call la langue de Molière, which means one that is about inventing, about expressing, and about giving value to one's identity through and with language.